Okay, I wanted to show some people um, some of the neat aspects of Paragon characters. Okay, and one of the ideas someone came up, oh, we should do a World of Warcraft like game. Well, we could, and it would be a lot easier than most people think. It would take a little bit of learning on my part, but not much. I mean, there's tutorials enough, and there's enough free stuff that I could get the job done myself, right? All by my little old self. Now, the thing I was doing with this is, let's say you get this Paragon Murdoch guy, you go into the characters, you go into the heroes section, then you go into Murdoch, right? Now, there's a couple things you can do. The first thing you do is you look at how many animations there are here, okay? And what this does is if you drop this into the world, he'll do that animation, and he'll do it in like a loop kind of thing, right? You can key map these things to certain keys. So if he's running, right, and you have a forward motion on that, you can then pick the forward jog, right? You know, if he turns, you got him turning, right, when he's jogging, and there's also an idle turning. So if he's not moving and you're just turning around, it does that. There's that too. There's that much key mapping involved here, right? There's him just standing there firing, right? Okay. And this is like when the level first starts. They had this in the Paragon thing. That's what I've been using to show off that. But on top of that, all this is just the way he looks basically, right? Okay, his base character. If you go up another little bit here, there's this thing called skins. And there's 5 different looks of them, right? If you go in here and you go into the mesh, oh, hold on, get in there. This is what he looks like here, and this is where I got in trouble with the new version, right? Okay, this is what that one looks like, right? Okay, scary, isn't it? Right, that's what that one looks like. So they look like different people almost, right? I was going to be using this as sort of a cinematic way to do different things, right? Like, see? That one looks like, he could be like a soldier guy. So you could use him for soldiers. And once you skin this, right, all those animations that you were doing before will be put with this guy. Okay? That's something that I just accidentally learned. I learned how to do that. Oops. Yeah, woohoo. You know. So that was something that was fun to learn. And I ran into that key mapping thing because the jetpack that came out free was for 4.22, so I haven't really had a jetpack thing, which is one of the reasons I keep the 422 is there's some older stuff there. But once you see how you can key map things, right, you don't need to keep that or the old thing. You can design your own jetpack system, right? This is like, it's kind of neat what Unreal's done is they give you the examples of how someone's done it, and then there's enough tutorials out there that, oh, well, I can do that myself now. Now, the neat part is, okay, when you're doing a character creation screen, imagine seeing this guy standing here, let's say, and beside him here is a little device at the bottom, and there's like a little beam flowing up, and there's a spinning little planet there that shows the world he's from, right? Okay, and you have this for, and you think there's 30 Paragon characters, right? And this guy alone has 5 different skins. So it's almost like having 150 characters to play with, to start out with, right? Right, and see, he's got 2 different ones here, Wasteland in this one, right? So you go into here. This is his remember this Shogun one from the dragon thing that I was doing? And he's got a physics material that he comes with him here, right? Okay, so you go back up, right? You go to the Wasteland guy. See, different guy altogether, right? Is there another one in there? No. Okay, so we go back to skins, slide down, right? Tier 2. And there's 2 of them in here, right? All right, and there's that beastly looking, ugly looking thingy, right? And then there's the mercenary, right? And another one. This one here I was going to use as a kind of um, mercenary-like guy too, right? And this is where you could have soldiers, right? That would be marching along, and they'd all be like this, right? You know, kind of like your story's little version of stormtroopers, you know. And you can have that. And so what I've done is I've imported a bunch of these, right? You can see that one there I was going to use. I was picking different little things, right? And now we got to get rid of this stupid. See, this is why I don't like that. I don't like that stupid pop-up there because it comes over top of this. Any bugs or problems that happen, you're stuck. Okay, and you can corrupt your project due to that. That is what I sent an actual bug report about. Okay, that is not good design. That it's popping over top of that. If anything, put it up the hell out of my way, underneath here or something, you know, or up in the middle here, or just have a box somewhere that alerts you things, you know. Having it pop over top, like this is from the days when everybody was doing damn loot boxes, and this is what their thing was. It was everything was a stupid goddamn pop-up. But this is why you want to do that, because then you can scale this back down. And just to give you an idea, so Drongo, you go in here, you go to Heroes, over to here, and you see there's this base print there, right? You can see that. We'll scroll down. Right, that's what he looks like there, and he's got his little rocket launcher at the bottom, right? Okay, get this down like that so I can see it. Go into animations, and here's a whole bunch of his animations, and this is what I mean. All these animations that are already done. So when you're looking, when I posted the tutorial on, you know, how to do things via key map, you don't need the Mixamo aspect of it already because you got the animation sitting right here. You eliminated that need, right? Unless there's actually something you need that would be different that isn't in here, like say an actual flying thing, and then in which case we get Mr. Jim Croovy to do some rigging and pull them in and out, you know, and try and sort it, and then that's it, done. Gets back to me, and I put them in the scene, map it all out, and then test it, and it's done. That's kind of how that works. Now you go into the skins here, and he's got two of them, right? You got the Alien Invader, right? We'll bring this up, right? It looks pretty trippy, right? And you got the other one, the Scavenger, right? Looks pretty, you know, that could be like your, you know, you're flying along in the planet, in between the planet. You might have a few things where instead of having a portal or gate system where you actually have to take a trip on a ship, okay, and instead you might have an encounter where some merchants come by or some pirates, and you could use guys like this as the pirates, okay, little extra missions for things, okay. You start to begin to dream up little ideas for how you can amuse yourself, how this would be done, right? And you would do 5 or 6 variations for these missions to start out with, so that people don't get bored of them right away. And you know, once every couple months you add another mission, and by the time a year goes by, you got 15 different variations of it, so that people never know what they're gonna get. You see? Anyway, so that was what the plan was. Anyway. Back to this, scale it down. Alright. Now this one here was a bit difficult because, let me see here, was it Heroes, Steel? See, he's got this giant thing on him, and it would have been neat if he doesn't have these giant things on him. They look kind of weird. I don't understand what they are, but they look weird. They're like a radio dish or something or other on the back of them, right? Be neat, not even just take that off, you know, and have him, you know, because that's a pretty creepy looking creature right there. But anyway, I was gonna play around with that and see if I could pull that off by taking those pieces off. I don't know whether that would work or how you know, how I wreck things. Let's see, what was the other one I was looking at? I just brought in a couple to see what they were doing. And let's see here, characters. Oh, and I wanted to show off like audio too, right? Like you go into the dialogue waves, right? And then you would say right click and you just go play.
A gift. Up.
Right?
Not possible.
And you see these are all tied to having enough power to do something or not, because whatever. So some of these you may use, some of them you may not, but look at how many there are. I mean, and commercially, we're allowed to use all of this, okay? As long as we do whatever we're doing inside the Unreal Engine. And after $3,000 every quarter, we have to give Epic 5%. Okay, that's, you put it in a storefront, I think it goes to 12% or something or other. I'd have to reread that part. It's a little ambiguous. I don't know, whatever that word is. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. And you're probably thinking, well, what have you been up to today? Well, I don't know. I got this giant dude over here, right, sitting in the sand, right, and we got some castle walls starting to appear here, right? Okay. Oh, and you want to know how you speed things up for that? Just crank this up one or two. Watch this shit. Ready? Go! Woohoo! I did that with the experiments using the ship thing, so I can figure out how to fly around. Now I can really get around. See? You can see around here all the different areas, how big this place is, right? This is the little map, right? And the outsides there would be where I'd put all the water, right? We haven't put any water into this thing yet. And this is where you start, right over here. And I got a couple little buildings I put in here just as a test. Some stuff around the front. A little cactus plant over there. Just playing around over here and playing with assets and building things and testing things out. Oh, poor little angel. It makes me feel like Planet of the Apes. I just want to go, you damn dirty ape. Wait a minute. That's not the Statue of Liberty. Ah. And the other thing is I'm slowly making it so you can travel around the map and do different things like that too. And that's part of the thing too, right? Yeah. There's another one of those bridges. I should just see one of the problems with collision detection. Okay, and I'll explain this. When you do the simple collision, or when you turn collision on, simple collision, what it does is it makes a square around everything. Okay, and what that does is just above where you'd be walking, there's actually where you would have the collision. So what you've got to do is you've got to take this apart, okay, and make the collision for this. Take this apart, and that way it surrounds this and surrounds this, right? And then you have proper collision. That's a problem when you have an asset that's all in one, which is one of the reasons why I was discussing in the Discord about when you import objects that have been put together in parts. Sometimes you want it, if it's a TIE fighter kind of thing, you want it all assembled. You don't want to be putting together every little stupid piece of a TIE fighter, trust me. There's a lot to them. Versus, say, something like this, I want it apart so I can add the collision detection around it and then put the parts back together. I can put the railings back on there and the pieces underneath, right? All that stuff. I can do that, you see. And that's what you want to do. So technically this won't be in the final version because I've got to rip it apart. If I got to rip it apart, I just might as well make my own thing, right? Like that's the thing. Now, also over here, I'm going to add like a little, like a fortress thing here or something where you go into a building and you got to run around in the building and such like that. And you'll have some windows out the front and whatever else. I'm kind of making this into a little mini fort, You know, eventually it'll go all the way around here, kind of deal, right? And there'll be another little thing in there. There'll be some choke points and different things like that. I did this thing here where you go way up and underneath and around. There's no collision detection on that um, uh, circular thing yet. I should try it and see what happens, right? I want to see if you go underneath it, if it clips it under the bottom, right? So you can't come up underneath, right? Because if it doesn't do that, then okay, well, that's semi-useful. Because then what I can do is I can build a structure that's underneath this that you can go in and then come up on, and then just have these, like, attach all these together and turn them a little so that you'll line them up better with the windows, right? So that you could shoot out the windows and that kind of thing, or whatever. I mean, this is just sort of a, this could be a world where you have something to do on it, right? Like there's some kind of little base or something, right? Who knows what I'll use this for? But right now it's just part of a shooter game, right? Right? So you just do a little fly around. Wee. So yeah. And that's not the fastest speed either. I'll just say that. Nor is this as big a map as I've made before. Alright. And yeah, lighting. Just gotta build stuff, and then see, the bounding box is technically, where did it go? Where did you go? Where did it go? Oh, maybe I went through it for lighting. Get down for there it is. There's technically your light bounding box right there. You can see it on the top, right? It kind of flows that way. Unreal doesn't like you making them that big. They want you to make things more small and dynamic and crap like that. It's not geared towards open thing, but it seems to be handling it. Even on my low end stuff, I added a whole bunch of stuff, and then it gave me the texture streaming error, and then it went away. I don't know. Maybe it fixed it just by saving something. Anyway, I'll leave that there. But yeah, as you can see, like when you go into where was another one of those paragons? Also, some of their special effects that they have for their weapons and different things like that, right? Um, let's see here. Where was it? I'm messing around with this. I won't do that. You see, you got particles here, the textures there. You got different materials and whatnot there. His audio is in here, right? Okay. I don't know if it'll let me do this.
I shoot, you die.
See, you got little things there, right? Okay. And there's all the wave files for that. And they've done this so that it's modular. Okay, so you know where everything is, right? Okay, and whenever it says maps, this is just, they just give you like a little demo map, and they put all the little skinned guys there. Okay, that's all they do. It's no biggie. It's not even really needed. It's just for show. But I don't know what's in global here. Material layers. Yeah. Dun 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 dun. Yeah. See, there's the base character there. If you're gonna retarget this guy onto your third person, this is where you go, and you're gonna need this one here. Okay, that's the main thing there. And there's your skeleton, etc., etc. And dun 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 dun. Where are we here? Go up 1, 2, right here. And like I said, I'll show you what I mean by animations here in a second. We'll just do this. I'll go over to the main start area. Where was the start area? Way over here. Zoop. Okay. And what I'll do, let's see here. We'll have them Where's his level start? Alright, here we go. We'll put him right there. Okay. This might require me to wait a bit here while his shaders get made. Time for a tea. Yorkshire tea, that is. Yeah, 1,435 shaders get made. Smoke. I should cancel. I shouldn't have done that. I should have done it with the Paragon guy because I already had the shaders made, and I could have made the example and showed you this and just ran it from in here. And the other thing is when you run this, when you use the play and you simulate it in its own process, it runs in default better quality than it will if you just hit the play button and run here, in which I have it set at low settings. It will run at the actual low settings in here, which looks like shit compared to, you know, whatever. But it runs great. So I'm like, you know, what's the excuse of other games, you know? But I guess there's still a lot more I have to add into this, and then I'm sure that overhead starts to eat away at stuff. The more visually stunning you make. See, I'm more about having a game or something that I can enjoy playing rather than it look like, you know, Star Citizen, right? I don't need a whale to be, you know, having my game looking great. I'm with the majority of people that just want a game that's fun. It's no fun if you can't play it if you have to play it at such a low setting that your game is laggy still, right? And that's what all these big companies are doing. They're pandering to the people that just throw their money out at every new little thing, right? Oh, there's 8K monitors. I'll go get one for $3,000 or $4,000, even though my eyeballs will never be able to tell the difference, unless the monitor is 18 feet wide, in which case then it might. You know, like, what are you, half blind? You know, it's just people with so much ungodly amounts of money. We should just be. It should be legal to mug them. That's what I think. You know, so you just don't need any more money. You know, if you're spending money on 4K and 8K monitors and stuff, you're just wasting your money, man. I honestly, it's like going from DVD to HD. You know, okay, we all can have a really big monitor now, and it's fine. You don't really need much more than 1080p, guys. I mean, it's just stupid. People that try and tell you that, you ask them, what games have you bought lately? And the first thing you say is, did you pay for Total War Warhammer not on sale and get all the DLC at regular price? And do you own a copy of Star Citizen by chance and have bought $1,500 like 3D models that you know aren't in a real game yet? And once you get a yes out of any of that, you go, yeah, yeah, really, yeah. So, do you have any kids? Do you have any family that you gotta spend that money on? Maybe you should be going to doing that instead. You know. See, by saving people money, it allows you and them to spend more money in the local economy, which then drives the economy of your nation. Okay? That's one thing to remember. When you save people money, that's what it does. And then when they save enough money, everybody wins, and then suddenly the world's better, everyone gets better, and then they have more money again. It's like a really neat cycle. But when you have a guy that takes $1 billion out of the economy, and he might spend $1 million in a year. That's $999 million. It's no longer coming back to the economy, and people are worse off. That is how business works. Okay, that's what people are doing. They are taking money from the world's economy for no reason. What are they doing with that money? Mm. They don't even know. They just got to have it. Got to have that precious. And I'm not communist. You know, it's okay to make money. It's just you got to be able to have a use for it. You know, what's the sense of having it all if you're not going to be able to spend it? It's that's insanity. That's true insanity, in my opinion. In my opinion. Yeah, we're almost done here, and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. I'll run the game from here rather than run right click and play from the location. That's another feature. You can right click in here no matter where you are in the map and play, and it will play right there at the settings you have though, rather than what the game wants you to have to start with. Ouch. Ouch, 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 ouch. Oh. Okay. Anyway, I want to thank all the guys on YouTube that do tutorials too. When I get this done, whenever I do actually finish something, there's going to be like a list of credits that's going to blow people's minds away, and there's going to be literally a link to every single one of them that does something and has helped me learn something along the way, right? And there'll be like it'll be like YouTube's going to be angry at me for this post, when I do it, because it'll be like, it'd be huge, huge, man. People don't understand how big my tutorial lists are. It's serious. I get doing things, guys, that I'm sure they don't even know you're doing, and then I'm looking around for somebody who has, and I'll pick up on something one guy does that he isn't using it for what I want it to do, and then I can kind of go with it in the way I want, you see, right? It's like the little particle effect the guy did with the Paragon characters for Niagara a couple years ago. Well, you could use that for a kind of transporter-like thing for Star Trek. You could also use it for warp nacelles or anything like that. You could use it for, a speed up for a guy going across the screen like Flash, or a superpower, or disintegrate something, and then the mesh is gone or something, right? It's like a delete. If it gets more hit points than the structure has, right? This is where I wish Microsoft wasn't such a bunch of jerks with DirectX 12 and how they're just wanting to suck everybody up to this Windows 10 thing. All I got to say to the Unreal guys is I really hope you see this out-of-date package thing started. That was what scared me last time. And it popped over top of this when I had everything big size, and I was trying to small size it, and I couldn't do it. And then every few seconds, the auto save would kick on, and then, oh my God, it just went for hours, and I was like sitting there going, what do I fucking do? Anyway, okay, so let's do this. So you can go into here, save it. And I'll show you here what you do. This is just for testing. Some of these things we would end up removing from this, of course. It'll take a minute. Maybe. You gonna run? Maybe not. Come on, you. Oh. Maybe not. Uh-oh. Feels like it. Come on. Come on. There we go. Mustn't have clicked it right. Do your little epic thing. So I got too much running at the same time. That's what I mean. So this is its own process. You have the engine running, I have OBS running, Chrome running, Discord running. Right? Why does it keep doing this? Usually wasn't that long. Oh, they updated it. That's why. There's the update. They're adding longer. I'm gonna cut that thing right out then. Come on. What's going on now? Oh my god. What did you do to it? See that little autosave? Oh, here we go. Okay, so you let this part load. You see him jumping there in the background. I'll get up to him in a second. Don't worry about the lighting. I just hit the build lighting there and then that goes away. So you go over here, right? First thing I do is this, right? This just allows me to stay on the level so I can show it off. Right? Have a little bit of fun shooting things. And then see that timer at the top? If I let that go, it'll switch me to a new level. Right? That'll have bots and everything else pre-made on it. And you want that on in case you fall off a cliff, and then hit the escape button a couple times. Go out of there. And now I run up to this guy. There he is. Right? There he is. That's just his beginning level thing, right? Shift key, and we can run. I added some rocks around the side here. Okay, just for variation, just as a test. Right around here, turn. See those rocks right there? That kind of strange looking piece fits in pretty good. And that's how you do things. Just make stuff look different. Drop that down a little. It looks kind of like it. I might have to play with that. Maybe have to bring it down a little. Maybe not. Come around the side. Yep. Gonna have to play with this desert a little bit too. Another guy over here, did I? Just sitting there. Hey, Murdoch, what are you doing? This is his shooting ammunition, his animation. So he'd be like shooting things out of there. Pretty good looking character though, eh? That's what I'm saying, man. What do we got over here? The praying monk. Ooh, looks like it's gonna fall over one day. It's ancient. See? It's like, you remember there was a game called Rift, and you could get an instance, and you were allowed to build what you wanted in it. This is like having the ultimate Rift, right? You just build your own thing. And you know, an idea might be that, you know, you kind of let, you could have competitions to have people build levels, right? All the tools are at the Unreal thing. Build the level. Do you want to add it to our game? Go for it, right? Then it gets added in, you know? That way, you know, you got a little bit of gatekeeping to your game, you know? You take the best of the best kind of thing, right? I don't know, you can give people a free skin, or you can some kind of in-game currency, or whatever the heck, right? everybody does some forms of monetization, right? Skin-wise and stuff. Can I go in here? Holy jeez. You kinda almost can, can't you? That looks weird. It's like the wall there is screwed up or something. I don't think you're supposed to come up that close to it. See how the wall, the window's shut there. See? Open, shut. Open, shut. That's the LOD system. It's different. Yes, I had to plant a pot. Something here. Get up there. Yay. Watch this. That's right. See that? I almost killed myself. See the health bar going up and down? Immortality almost. Okay, anyway, I just wanted to show that so that, you know, some people could get an idea of what you have for animations that are already done. And, hold on here. It's got emoting and stuff like that, and then you tie that to a sound, which is, where are we again? Right? Where was it? Heroes, Durango. Where's the audio? I guess it's up here. Global? I can't remember. Where was the audio for this? Where did his audio go? Oh, there it is. So then you can tie it into audios in here, right? Right. Where was that one with the emote? Down here a ways. Like, look at them all. So it would take a while to go through and map all these out, because one of the problems is, well, what's Drongo Lore Steel 100 mean, right? Well, what is it? And then you got,
Waste not, want not. I'll be having a scrap off our enemies.
so there you go. Now you know what that is. So you'd have to write that down and so you can index things a little bit, right? This would be the only actual work you have to do, is figuring out what all of these are, so that when you go back to go back to doing the animations, you can actually tie them to the animations then, right? So that's about the only real work. Well, I mean, there's more to it than that, of course, but anyway. Yeah, so just me mucking around, learning stuff and doing things, and playing with the assets and stuff like that. And you can see the sand that kind of rolls down there and all that stuff, right? And I was playing with when I was doing the whoosh, these things, right? You see how the stairs have that kind of brick look, right? I was playing with how that could work and how to do that. Now, if you look though, well, let me go back up here. Whoa, I actually went out of the universe there for a minute. Let me slow this down so I'm not, yeah, there we go. Okay. Okay. You see how these set of stairs look? And that looks more realistic. And by the time you get up to here, it's because what's been done is different than what I did here. So what I did was vertex painting, okay, versus object texturing. Okay, that's taking this like a triangle, right? That's like this set of stairs and putting the texture on the whole thing, and then it maps to the whole thing rather than just this little square and then that little square. Like it looks okay this way, it just starts to look a little weird and patterned out over on the sides. So it might be better to take something and highlight all this and then click the texture there, and then it might come out looking better. It's just sort of a thing, right? It's kind of like how that looks like bricks and this looks like bricks, but then, you know, it looks weird over there. It's like almost like there's different colored bricks doing different things. Oh, looks like I missed a few spots right up in there. That's okay. I'll get those. You got to go all the way up in there, and I did that. And the good thing is that once you do one, you hit Control W, and then it just copies it. So then you just pull it up, and you can pull straight up, and it should just about line right up too. And that was a neat feature, that it made it easy and quick to do this. I mean, I could make these all over the place here in like a day, and which would be trippy, because one of the ideas was that we make kind of a maze out of this, right? But what would be cool if say right up here somewhere you had something beam off over to this way, right, in like a tunnel, right, and then you have a beam, like another little staircase going down this way. I mean, you would have a crazy map where everything's like, you know, and then you know, having tunnels inside these things, and then you go inside here and you tunnel your way out and you come out up here or up over there, and you know, all this stuff. You'd have to have a mapping system so people don't get lost. That would be another thing that I that's one thing. I'm not sure how I do it. I guess it would have to be, you'd have to get your character's location, and then have a small square up here, say, and have a grid, and have your little guy show up on it, and then you at least be able to know where you are. But it wouldn't show your up and down location, right? There'd be some caveats to systems like that when you're making maps that go up and down and around and all that stuff, right? Like, I mean, you could do it color coded, right? Like where if you're at the bottom of a map, you're say green, and if you're at the top of the map, you shift upwards to say red from green, or something like that. So the higher up you are, the different color. In between would be like orange, right? So you'd be at mid-level,